In today's video, we will be going through the 2012 British science fiction horror film Storage 24. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment on what your favorite part was, and subscribe to our channel for more. The movie begins in a storage facility named Storage 24's board. Jake, a receptionist at this facility, is smoking below the CCTV camera. No one is inside the facility and it looks daunting. Jake gets inside and is looking at a picture in a magazine when he hears a loud crashing sound. Everything starts shaking and rumbling like an earthquake. Sarah, his co-worker, enters the room and asks him what's happening. Another guy named Greg follows Sarah into the room. They look outside the window and assume there must be a terrorist bomb attack in Battersea. Sarah turns on the TV while Greg is surprised to find his car crushed by an airplane engine. Suddenly, there's a malfunction in the security shutter causing it to lock down automatically. Next, we see a lady walking her dog, Foxy, when she notices smoke coming from across the town. She calls her friend Nick on the phone to check if the news channels are saying anything related to an accident that caused the smoke. Just then, Foxy senses something over a distance, then runs towards a cargo ship. The lady follows her and checks out the cargo. She goes over to Foxy where she finds her scared and barking at something. Foxy again runs away and then she hears her dog whimper as if she is scared. She then realizes that something has killed Foxy, which horrifies her. Elsewhere, two friends, Charlie and Mark, are stuck in traffic. They are on their way to Storage 24 to gather Charlie's belongings from his unit at the facility. They are discussing Charlie's breakup with his ex-girlfriend Shelly. Charlie is rambling on about how Shelly ended their relationship without any explanation, and Mark seems to be fed up with it. Over the radio, they find out there has been a military plane crash near Hyde Park in central London, which has now resulted in a huge traffic jam. They also find out that a quarantine around central London is in effect. Back at the storage facility, Bob, an electrician, is outside trying to fix the shutter but fails to do so. Charlie and Mark arrive outside the facility and see that Charlie's car that he had bought for his girlfriend is parked outside and has been destroyed from the plane crash. Charlie then sees a man's jacket inside the car. He gets anxious, thinking how quickly Shelly moved on from the relationship. They try to get inside the facility, but the crash has messed up the power and phone lines in the area. After trying another combination, Bob finally manages to unlock the shutter, but it shuts down immediately when Mark and Charlie enter the facility, shutting the entrance behind them. Meanwhile, Sarah and Greg get out of the facility. Bob then asks Jake to show him the basement in order to reroute the alarm to the emergency power system so that he can fix the shutter malfunction. Charlie and Mark go over to their storage unit to gather Charlie's belongings. Bob gets into the basement and finds it a bit spooky. Loud music can be heard in the warehouse corridors. Shelly and her friend Nikki are over the warehouse getting their stuff with Shelly's new boyfriend, Chris. As Charlie and Mark make their way to Charlie and Shelly's shared storage unit, they encounter Shelly with her friend and boyfriend. They have an awkward conversation and suddenly the power goes out. Meanwhile, Jake makes his way to the basement to help Bob fix the shutter malfunction, but he sees that Bob has been attacked and mysteriously killed. Jake is horrified and flees immediately after sensing something in the basement. He then hides in an open storage room. The group hears a noise, but they think it's just a jammed airway. Shelly says they have been hearing noises since the morning. After having an awkward conversation with Charlie, Shelly asks him to leave and come back later to gather his stuff from the storage unit. As the lights get back on, Charlie and Mark make their way to the exit, but they find that the shutter is still down. They then find a nearby door scratched. Meanwhile, Chris and Nikki head out to get some snacks from the vending machine within the facility. Nikki goes to the restroom and feels like someone is lurking in there. The roof of the restroom is all torn up. Chris is waiting outside the restroom for Nikki when he hears a scream from afar. He goes to check if something is wrong and stumbles into a room filled with mannequins where he finds Jake, who breathlessly says they have to get out of the facility if they want to live. They then hear a sound coming from the roof. Suddenly, an alien-like creature grabs Jake by his head while Chris watches in horror. Charlie and Mark get back to Shelly to talk to her. She then explains to Charlie why their relationship is over. She then walks out of the room to get some air. Mark follows her and takes her to a neighboring storage unit. They start to make out. Nikki gets back to Charlie when they hear a loud screeching sound. Charlie goes out to check if something is there, but he finds Shelly and Mark's undone clothes. He realizes they are having an affair. Seeing this, Charlie storms out in anger and Nikki follows him. They get to the room filled with mannequins when Nikki hears something. They find Chris in there and are shocked to see blood on the side of his head. Nikki wipes it, but the blood starts dripping from the ceiling onto Chris's face. Charlie climbs over to see where the blood is coming from, and he is horrified to see the receptionist's face is ripped to pieces. Nikki feels sick and goes out to get some air. Meanwhile, Shelly and Mark find her outside the storage unit. A middle-aged guy named David grabs Nikki from behind and threatens her with an electric toothbrush. The group knocks him and binds him because they suspect he is the one who killed Jake. When he regains consciousness, they interrogate him and discover he is only an odd tenant of a neighboring storage unit hiding from his wife. Chris gets out of shock and says that a dangerous creature is on the loose, and they are in grave danger. Charlie asks Nikki to lock the door, and she does. Suddenly, the creature is banging on the door. Chris is petrified and says it is going to kill them all. When the creature rips out the door, Chris runs out only to be chased by him down the corridor. It sneaks up on him from behind and rips his heart out. The storage unit rented by the guy David is lockable from the inside, so the group decides to hide in there. David shows them news channels on a collection of televisions that he has gathered to help them piece together what must have occurred. They find out that the city is in complete lockdown. Their only hope for them is to flee the facility, but for them to get out, they will need to use the engineer's equipment, which is in the basement. They plan to utilize the ventilation ducts to search neighboring units for weapons before going to the basement. Charlie goes inside the vent and Mark follows him. When Mark tries to talk about his relationship with Shelly, Charlie makes it clear that after he gets out of the facility, he wants nothing to do with them. They start searching several units for weapons to fight against the creature, but they only manage to get a knife, a crowbar, and some explosives after searching numerous storage units. While they decide to circle back through ventilation, they get alarmed after hearing a noise. The creature starts banging above Charlie, and they hustle their way only to get to a dead end. They reroute when Mark finds a way above the ventilation and asks Charlie to push him up. Suddenly, the creature cuts through the ventilation and Charlie freezes. Mark retreats from there alone. He makes his way back to David's unit and shuts the ventilation. Shelly asks him about Charlie, and he claims Charlie is no longer alive. He says he did everything he could, but the creature ripped through the ventilation like it's paper. He distributes the weapons that they gathered and claims they have to get out of there. Somehow, Charlie has managed to escape and makes his way to another storage unit. He finds some toy guns and a few dolls in there. He then breaks the unit's door to get out of there, only to find the creature in front of him. The creature is about to attack Charlie, but suddenly a toy dog starts yapping towards the creature. The creature is bewildered, and Charlie seizes the opportunity to run out of the unit, only to get almost hit by a crowbar thrown by Mark. The group finds that Charlie is alive, and they have an awkward reunion. While making their way towards the basement, the creature confronts them. David stands shook and tells everyone to go save themselves. The creature is staring at David, and he starts talking to the creature. When the creature puts his hand over David's shoulder while trying to attack him, he bites its fingers off. Eventually, the creature kills him. The group decided to go in pairs to look for the basement. Charlie and Nikki finally make it to the basement and discover an electrical keypad that controls the shutter near Bob's disfigured corpse. Charlie uses a walkie-talkie to tell Mark and Shelly to go back to reception. They find Mark is alone when they return. Charlie asks him about the whereabouts of Shelly, and he tells him that the creature took Shelly with him. Charlie is determined to rescue her. Mark tries to stop them, but Charlie punches him in the face. Mark tells him it's suicide trying to save Shelly from the monster, but Charlie doubles back to save her. Shelly is being kept hostage by the monster in a neighboring corridor. She stabs it with a knife as it is about to kill her and flees but gets trapped in a lift. She calls for Charlie's help through the walkie-talkie. Nikki brings some fireworks with her and they rig a walking toy dog with lighted fireworks towards the lift. The fireworks explode, allowing Shelly to escape to Charlie. They believe the creature is dead from the explosives and make their way out. The group rushes to the reception, believing the creature is dead, only to discover Mark has blocked the entrance to the room with the crowbar. Meanwhile, the creature is behind them. They beg him to open the door, but Mark only stares at them, leaving them imprisoned. Charlie kicks the door open and uses the keypad to open the shutters. The monster suddenly bursts through the wall in front of Mark and kills him. Charlie tries to save Mark by hitting the creature with a crowbar. It throws Mark's body away and now grabs Charlie by his face. Shelly then sprays the creature with some gas, and Charlie kills the beast with Nikki's help by driving the crowbar into its abdomen. At the end, he says, "I just want to go home." The security shutters are finally opened and 3 of them emerge into the street. Shelley apologizes and Charlie accepts the end of their relationship. They part and go their own ways. They find that London is on fire and being attacked by an alien spaceship. The movie ends abruptly. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel to see more of these movie summaries.